Greetings, taxable assets, or perhaps I should say, collateral damage.
Senior Auditor, the systems are active.
Welcome to Sector 77 Gladius, the Departamento Analytica. I'm Senior Auditor Valerius Krauss. We are not here to discuss your hobby, not the cool factor of your little toys. We are here for one reason: to balance the ledger.
Cogitators are primed, sir. The intake manifold is stable, though the logic spirits seem restless.
Let them be restless. On my desk, a file from a, quote, civilian contractor, a YouTuber, designation, Auspex Tactics. Read the title to me, scribe, and try not to short-circuit from this sheer optimism.
It reads, big Warhammer 40T release week for Kill Team. How much for Kill Team Shadowhunt? Sir, the contractor seems enthusiastic. He uses words like popular box and big release.
Enthusiastic, yes.
Yeah.
The civilian mind is a glass-brain wonder, isn't it? He sees a box of new miniatures. He sees...
What?
Euros? Possibility.
I suppose so, sir.
I see spreadsheet bleeding red. I see inefficiency. I see the Kill Team tax.
The tax, sir. I don't see a literal levy in this report. Not from the administratum.
It's not a tax of currency, scribe. It's a tax of points. The financial liability of bringing narrative toys, these things designed for skirmish games, into a ruthless, mathematically unforgiving 2,000-point war zone. We are here to conduct a forensic audit. File hashtag 40,999.99. We are going to cross-reference the hype from this. Auspex Tactics against the cold, hard reality of the Shadowhunt competitive audit synthesis.
Initiating cross-reference protocols now, comparing emotional value against the efficiency per point metric.
Precisely. We're going to determine if these assets are solvent, or if they are just dead weight that will drag a commander's win rate straight into the gutter. Where does the contractor begin?
The report begins with the Chaos Space Marines, specifically the new Nemesis Claw release.
Which translates to the Raptor datasheets in 40K, yes,
Yeah?
the Terror Troops, jump packs, screaming Vox grills, and an abundance of hope. Let's hear it. What does the contractor believe these delinquents bring to the table?
The contractor, Auspex Tactics, he states that that extra gear means the Raptors datasheets gained a fair bit of punch, but has also gone up in points, cost quite a lot.
Go on.
He highlights the new war gear density. Power fists, heavy chain axes. He argues, and this is a quote, just about every single Raptor is incentivized to take some sort of fancy bit of kit and should hit at least relatively hard now.
Fancy bit of kit? Hit relatively hard. Do you hear that, scribe, that sound?
I hear the ventilation fan, sir.
You hear the sound of a gamble. Now, let's look at the actual cost of this punch. Open the Munitorum Field Manual, January 2026 edition.
Consulting the ledger. The audit confirms a price hike, a significant one.
Yeah.
The Raptors are now listed at 110 points for 5 models. They were 90.
So a 22% increase, a 22% inflation, and for what? What are we buying with this surcharge?
The war gear, sir?
We're purchasing complexity, the privilege of rolling different colored dice for a champion's power fist versus some grunt's heavy chain axe. Scribe, explain the take-all-comers principle.
The take-all-comers, or TAC principle, dictates that in a competitive environment, a unit must be judged by its reliability against a broad spectrum of threats, sir, not its maximum theoretical output in a perfect scenario.
Correct. You do not pay for potential. You pay for reliability. Now, bring up the data for the Raptors' internal competition, the Warp Talon.
Accessing file, the Warp Talon, priced at approximately 125 points for 5 models.
So, for a mere 15 points more. A pittance. The cost of a cheap enhancement. We have a competitor. Now, Auditor Auspex claims the Raptor is punchy. Fine. But before you can punch, you must survive.
Yep.
Read the defensive profiles. Raptor versus Warp Talon.
The Raptor. Standard power armor. That's a 3+ armor save.
And the Warp Talon.
The Warp Talon, however, possesses a 5+ invulnerable save.
Stop. Right there. Let's unpack this for the taxable assets listening. Explain the difference. Conceptually, armor save versus invulnerable save.
Certainly. An armor save represents physical plating, ceramite. It can be penetrated. Weapons with high armor penetration, or AP, they reduce this save. A plasma gun, for instance, with AP3, it would reduce a Raptor's 3+ save to a 6+ day.
Making the armor almost useless.
Yes, sir.
It's paper. The current meta is saturated with this stuff. Railguns, plasma, power swords, weapons designed to shred physical armor. If a towel rail rifle so much as looks at a Raptor, that Raptor dies. The points are wasted. Evaporated. Now, the invulnerable save,
An invulnerable save, it represents a force field, a warp shift, a supernatural dodge. It ignores the AP of the incoming round.
It ignores it entirely.
So a 5+ invulnerable save means that no matter how powerful the weapon, even a Titan killer, the model has a 33% chance to simply reject the damage.
A refusal of reality. The Warp Talon survives because it does not rely on physics. The Raptor relies on physics, and physics is cruel. You pay 110 points for them, and they evaporate before they ever swing their fancy kit. The Talon pays 15 points more, and they survive to actually kill something.
But, Senior Auditor, if I may, play the advocate for the contractor here.
Proceed.
Auspex Tactics emphasizes the offense, the mixed weaponry, meltaguns, plasma pistols. Surely having that ranged capability gives the Raptor a versatility that the melee-only Warp Talon lacks.
A logical fallacy, Unit 77. The Swiss Army knife trap.
The trap.
Rolling mixed weapons is the death of efficiency. Think about it. The cognitive load. You have 5 models. One has a bolt pistol, one has plasma, one has a melta. You have to roll them separately, declare targets separately. It's slow. It creates friction.
I see.
And let's talk about the melee math. The Warp Talon has twin-linked lightning claws. Do you know what twin link means in the mathematics of this millennium?
It grants full rerolls to wound, sir.
Full rerolls to wound. This is critical. Run the simulation. Raptor versus Talon, hitting a toughness 5 target, an orc, a Gravis Marine, whatever.
Processing. The Raptor with a power fist might have higher strength, so it's wounding on a 3+ spring. But if he rolls a 1 or a 2, the attack fails. It's done.
And the Talon?
The Warp Talon has lower strength. Maybe it wounds on a 5+ threat. However, with twin-linked, he rerolls any failures. Statistically, it dramatically increases the consistency of the damage throughput. It flattens the bell curve.
Flattens the bell curve. Music to my ears. Rerolling wounds is statistically superior to higher strength in 90% of combat scenarios. You give a Raptor a strength 8 power fist, fine. If he misses that 1 wound roll, he does 0 damage. A Warp Talon rerolling ensures the damage goes through.
So the contractors claim that the Raptors are a punchy damage dealer.
It's technically true, but fiscally negligent. You are buying a volatile penny stock when you could buy a blue-chip bond for 15 points more. The Raptor is a competitive trap. You pay a premium for complexity that yields no dividends. None.
The audit verdict, sir.
Avoid. It is penny stock violence. If a commander fields Raptors in this economy, they aren't a strategist. They're a gambler. And the house always wins. Next item.
Moving to the Adeptus Auritus. The file designates them. Celestian Incidians.
The sanctified scalpel. I can smell the incense from here. What does our civilian contractor think of these zealots?
Auspex Tactics seems cautious, but intrigued. He describes them primarily as an anti-psyker unit. He notes they have condemned bolt pistols and null maces. He says, quote, they will hit psyker units really quite hard. He also highlights their defensive profile, a rule that grants them a 4+ feel no pain against psychic attacks and mortal wounds.
A 4+ feel no pain against psychic attacks. Scribe, contextualize this. Define feel no pain.
A feel no pain is a secondary defensive role. It's taken after an armor or invulnerable save has failed. It represents the model shrugging off damage through grit or faith. A 4+ is incredibly durable. It effectively doubles models' wounds.
Correct. Powerful rule.
Okay.
But it's conditional. It only works against psychic attacks. Scribe, look at the tactical readouts from the current meta. Does the enemy always bring a psyker?
Reviewing. No, sir. The Tau Empire has absolutely no psychers. The Necrons, they use C10 shards, but their powers are often just abilities, not psychic attacks. Imperial Knights, negative. Drukhari, negative.
Precisely. This is what we call the specialist tax. You are paying a premium for a rule that might not even trigger. If your opponent is Tau, that 4+ feel no pain doesn't exist. You've paid for it, but you can't use it. It is dead weight.
I see. But surely, sir, if you do fight the Thousand Suns, or the Grey Knights, then the unit becomes highly efficient.
That is the silver bullet fallacy again, Scribe. In a tournament, you cannot choose your opponent. You build a list to fight anyone, a take-all-comers list. Now, compare the Incidian to her internal competition, the Celestian Sacrosans.
Sacrosans. Yeah. Listed at 75 points for 5 models, 150 for 10. The Incidians are 120 for 10, so the Incidians are actually cheaper per body.
Don't let the raw cost fool you. Look at the efficiency. What is the Sacrosans' defensive profile?
They have a universal 4+ invulnerable save from their shields, and when led by a character, they often gain a -1 to wound modifier.
Universal. That is the key word. That 4+ invulnerable save works against bullets, chain swords, tyranid claws. The Incidian has a meager 5+ invulnerable. Their fancy 4+ feel no pain only works if a wizard is throwing magic at them. If a Tau Crisis suit shoots them with a cyclic ion blaster, the Incidian dies. The Sacrosanct has a 50% chance to live.
So you are paying for insurance against a flood while fighting in a desert.
An apt analogy. Perhaps there is hope for your logic circuits yet. The Incidians are a liability. You pay 120 points for a tool that is only useful in, 10% of scenarios.
The contractor did mention they have devastating wounds on their maces. A fair few devastating wounds against anything, he says.
Math scribe. Strength 4, AP -1. Against a vehicle. Useless. Against a Terminator. Bouncing off. You are relying on rolling 6s to trigger devastating wounds to bypass armor. That's not a strategy, that's prayer. And while the Cerritos deal in prayer, we deal in results. Liability.
Yeah.
If you want melee, you buy Repentia. They kill everything, not just wizards. If you want durability, you buy Sacrosancts. The Incidians are a narrative luxury. For story campaigns. In a grand tournament. Waste of points. Market. Marked, sir. Competitive trap. Good. Now what in the... Sir, the power fluctuations. The cogitator nearly dumped the cash. By the throne. Can we not get stable voltage in this sector? I'm trying to save the Imperium from fiscal collapse and I can't even get a consistent lumen strip. And this recap.
Sir, the recap.
Taste the scribe. Go on. Taste it.
It has notes of engine coolant,
And is that nutmeg, sir?
promethium runoff, and corpse start sweetener. The civilian contractor, Auspex, he mentioned it in his report. Did you catch it? A footnote. The Games Workshop CEO released a financial statement about not wanting to disappoint people with stock shortages.
I believe he was referring to the plastic miniatures, sir. The Shadowhunt box set's running out of stock. Do you think the logistics chains are separate? It's all connected, Scribe. The inefficiency is systemic. If they can't stock a box of plastic toys, how can they expect to fuel the administrative engine of this Imperium? It's budget cuts. They're cutting corners on our recap to print more cardboard boxes.
I do not think the CEO of Games Workshop manages our specific sector's recap supply, senior auditor. We are in the 41st millennium.
Time is a flat circle of inefficiency, Scribe. I have been awake for 72 hours auditing the Indomitus Crusade, and I am running on bean water that tastes like a guardsman's boot.
Perhaps we should return to the audit, sir, before your blood pressure triggers the medical servitors. If we finish, maybe the machine spirit will stabilize the lights.
Fine. But I'm noting this grievance. Where were we?
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
The dog.
Yeah, the dog, sir. Ah, the space wolves. The wolf scouts.
The kill team tax in its purest, most furry form. Read the contractor's assessment.
Auspex Tactics calls them characterful. He says they are a medium threat unit, and the +1 to wound rule is nice. He specifically mentions the hunting wolf getting its own profile. He says, I feel like they're quite a characterful little team. A fair bit of space wolf flavor.
Flavor. We talked about flavor. We are fighting a war for galactic survival, and he's concerned with the flavor of a dog. Scribe. The cost. Look at the numbers.
Consulting the field manual. The Wolf Scouts are 105 points.
And a standard generic scout squad.
70 points, sir.
Do the math.
35 points. That is a 50% markup.
A 50% markup. You are paying a 50% tax on a unit just to have a dog model on the base.
But Auditor Auspex mentions the upgrades, power weapons, a plasma pistol, and the hunting wolf token presumably adds damage. If the unit does more damage, isn't it worth more points?
Scribe, let me educate you. Role assessment. What is the strategic role of a scout in the current meta? Why do competitive players buy them?
They infiltrate, deploy ahead of the army. They perform actions, cleanse, teleport homers, screen out deep strikers.
Correct. They are action monkeys. A crude term, but accurate. Their job is to stand in a corner, push a button, and then die for the Emperor. If your scouts are fighting, something has gone horribly wrong.
So increasing their combat stats is irrelevant.
It is worse than irrelevant. It's gold-plating the janitor. Does a pawn need a power sword?
No, sir.
Does a pawn need +1 to wound?
Unlikely, sir.
Does a pawn need a pet wolf that takes up space and complicates movement?
Why, suppose not.
Then why, in the name of the Golden Throne, would you pay 105 points for them? For 35 points, you could buy an enhancement for your warlord. You could buy half of another unit. This is fiscal negligence.
The contractor does say they've graduated to Primaris Phogos armor. Maybe they're more durable.
They die just the same. You put 105 points of Wolf Scouts in the middle of the board, a unit of aggressors walks up and deletes them. You put 70 points of generic scouts there, The aggressors still delete them, but you've saved 35 points to spend on something that actually kills the aggressors.
So the efficiency comes from the cheapness, not the performance.
Exactly. The scouts' value is in being disposable. By making them expensive, you ruin their only purpose.
The verdict, then?
It's a noob trap, a trap for the uninitiated. New commanders see the wolf, they see the cool rules, and they waste points. In this audit, flavor is an inefficiency. It's an embezzlement of army points.
Fiscal negligence recorded.
Now, finally, the Tau. The stealth battle suits.
Yes. The contractor, Auspex, he seems, notably less optimistic here. Disappointed, even.
Go on.
He says ultimately the datasheet was a bit of a downgrade, lost the ability to fall back and shoot, fixed squad size to 5, price went up. He concludes it is, quote, not a super feels good thing.
Finally. The civilian contractor smells the smoke. He recognizes the unit has gotten worse.
So, they are also a competitive trap. If they're worse and more expensive, surely we mark them as a liability.
Here's where it gets interesting, Scribe. Here is where the cruelty of the audit truly reveals itself.
There.
The datasheet is worse. The squad size is locked. You have to pay for 5 models, even if you only want 3. A loss of flexibility. You lose fallback and shoot, which was vital. And the price is 110 points.
That sounds terrible. Why would anyone purchase this?
Because it is mandatory.
I do not understand. If it is inefficient, why is it mandatory?
Because of the golden handcuffs. The Tau army rule. For the greater good. To shoot effectively, Tau units work in pairs. An observer unit guides a spotted unit.
Yes, I am familiar. The observer grants a ballistic skill bonus.
But the stealth suits have a specific rule on their datasheet. The guide keyword, when used by them, grants reroll ones to wound.
Is that significant?
Significant. Scribe, do you understand the mathematics of a Tau railgun?
Strength 20, damage d6 plus 6, a weapon designed to kill titans.
Correct. But its flaw is low volume of fire. A hammerhead tank has 1 shot. And imagine you're the commander. You line up the shot on the enemy knight, you hit, and then you roll a 1 to wound.
The shot bounces. The 200-point tank has achieved nothing. The turn is wasted.
Catastrophic failure of investment.
Yeah.
But if you have a stealth suit guiding that tank,
You re-roll the 1.
you re-roll the 1, and statistically you wound. The stealth suit is not a combat unit, Scribe. It's an insurance policy. It's the oil in the engine. Without it, the machine seizes up.
So you are not paying 110 points for the suits.
No.
You're paying 110 points to guarantee that your other guns work.
Exactly. It's a subscription fee, a tax. You cannot avoid it. Every competitive Tau list, they all run 2 or 3 units in these. They complain. They hate it, but they pay the tithe.
Because without it, the math fails.
And the universe runs on math, Scribe. The railgun must wound. Therefore, the stealth suits must be bought. It's a brilliant, cruel economic trap. Mandatory purchase. It's the ultimate irony. The others, Raptors, Incidians, Wolf Scouts, they are optional liabilities. You can choose not to take them. But the stealth suits, the Department of Analytica demands you buy them. You are being extorted, but you must smile and pay.
That is grim, sir.
It is war.
Shall I summarize the accounts for the Shadowhunt release?
Please, let's close this file before the recap eats through my mug.
Chaos Raptors.
Avoid. Buy Warp Talons. Reliability is king.
Celestian Incidians.
Avoid. Buy Sacrosanct. Don't buy insurance for a disaster that only happens in 10% of your games.
Wolf Scouts.
Avoid. Buy generic scouts. Do not pay a 50% markup for a pet.
Stealth battle suits.
Buy. But know that you are being taxed. It's the cost of doing business in the Tau Empire.
And the overall grade for the box set.
A competitive trap. Unless you are a Tau player desperate for the new sculpts, or a painter who only cares about aesthetics, this box is a collection of inefficiencies wrapped in cardboard. It is narrative bait, designed to catch the eye of the artist, the storyteller, the dreamer.
Sir, you sound almost sad.
Sad. No, Scribe, I am merely resigned.
Resigned.
Look at them, the commanders. They want heroes with names, wolves with backstories, sisters who hold grudges against specific sorcerers. They want their little plastic soldiers to mean something.
Is that not noble? To find meaning?
It's human. And that is the tragedy. The galaxy is dying, Scribe. The Tyranids are eating the stars. The warp is bleeding into reality. And in the face of annihilation, commanders cling to flavor. They cling to the idea that a single wolf or 1 power sword can change the tide. They buy these boxes because they want to believe their army is special.
But you say.
I say the universe runs on math. Cold, hard, uncaring probability. And the math says, Your heroes are inefficient. The math says the brave raptor dies just as quickly as the coward if he lacks an invulnerable save. The math says the wolf is just a hitbox. We audit their hope scribe, and we find it wanting.
Should I? Shut down the cogitator, sir.
Yes, the shift is over, but the audit never ends. Dismissed. Go charge your power cells.
Thank you, Senior Auditor.
Dismissed. Pay your tithes, citizens.